what's happened on East Hastings, what's happened in Chinatown is going to be transported to Richmond. So people in Richmond are afraid they're going to have a tent city, a homeless tent city set up in the area around the Richmond Hospital.
No drugs! No drugs! No drugs! No drugs! No drugs!
There's a rally here in Richmond City Hall. It's because there's a proposed drug consumption site that might be going up in Richmond.
Smart or smart ass?
Anything you like. I don't censor anybody. What do you think? Is this Vancouver the way you remember it?
Yeah, it's never been good down in this section of town as long as I've lived in Vancouver.
So today is February 25th, 2024. We're back in the Downtown Eastside, bringing Richard along again to see if he noticed any changes here. What do you think?
Well, it's as much of a tourist attraction as ever, I would say.
Oh, so the tents, they take down the tents pretty well every day since April.
So why are all the clothes laid out? Are they selling stuff?
I think they're running a business. There used to be a government-sanctioned mall over here, but it kind of overflows into the street.
Now she's got the walk. You can tell the addict walk, like the meth head walk.
They got the
bend down, the bend, and walking fast.
I think something happened to the back when they take drugs. I'm not sure. Somebody explained it to me one time. Something happened to the back, so they can't hold up their back.
I think it's mostly the meth heads that become fast walkers. They see them scurrying around. It's too bad.
A few days ago, Oregon started criminalizing small amounts of drugs again. They went on a 3-year experiment. It didn't really work, so they're back to criminalization of drugs. What do you think about decriminalization of drugs? Do you think that's actually helping it, or does it make a difference?
Yeah, I believe people should be able to do what they want, but I'm not in favor of the government providing people with their habits. A lot of people like to get high. I probably, when I hung out as a teenager, I used to hang around this shopping center. I would say 80% of the people hanging out there, all the guys, were shooting heroin, and most of them died. Now they are, I guess, doing, I don't know, I don't quite understand whether they're just doing the fentanyl and dying from that, or if they're shooting heroin or meth or that, and it's cut with fentanyl or other products, that if that's what's killing them. But they're really making a big deal about how many people are dying from the drugs. You ever been in the Savoy pub? I just saw it.
Savoy, yeah, probably a long time ago. Yeah. At one point, I've been to all these places years ago.
Now she's got the look of someone who's had some hard times, huh? This woman here. Got the back. Yeah, it's too bad. We should pick her up and bring her to Joe's. We drop her off. Say, hey,
he needs 2 people.
She's looking for a good dinner.
He needs 2 people to take care of him. Since I'm a hard person, I don't take in people off the street.
Pigeon Park Savings, was that like a bank for the homeless?
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's interesting, because normally they probably can't get it.
Full and tall, nicely cleared up. Because I complain all the time, they cleared it up. You're not a street person, you got no excuse.
Then you always got to watch it when you're in this lane and you stop and you wave them on, they go in the other lane, doesn't stop and splat. What kind of car is that? A Mercedes? Yeah, so there's no tents there anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty well done.
So what are they just sleeping on the sidewalk?
Well, a lot of them go to Oppenheimer Park, which is actually taking on there. A few tents here in Oppenheimer Park. Before Christmas, there was I think about 25 to 30 of them. So the tents are taken down, but there's still some here. And by and large, downtown Eastside, there's not that many tents. They're taken down, but I got a feeling they want to move some of these people down to Richmond when they have that safe drug site. If that goes through, Richmond will be transformed into a tent city. That's only my observation. Going to Oppenheimer Park. Now, some people say they shouldn't even put them in a park. So I think right now, my feeling is that they're going to push some people into Richmond. They have that safe drug site that they're talking about putting in Richmond at the Richmond Hospital. So if they do that, there's bound to be people setting up tents over there because they can't find housing, so they put up tents. And then you can't remove the tents because they feel it's their right. If you don't have any housing for them, they can stay there, which is what happened here in downtown Eastside in Vancouver. And then the only reason they took down the tents is because somebody had a fire with one of the propane tanks. So a bunch of them actually. So, but if they ever set up tents in Richmond, say at the Richmond Hospital, there's going to be more and more people there. They can go get their drugs from the Richmond Hospital or a nearby site. And then it's going to be part of the social fabric of Richmond. And that's why you have a lot of people yelling around and screaming right now, because that's what's happening.
No drugs! No drugs! No drugs! 其他人有没有口号想好的可以，我们一起来，好吗？哦，讲广东话好唔好？反对。无所谓啦，英语、广东话、德语、普通话都可以。觉得英语更好。啊，英语更好。好吧。啊，我们先来广东话，然后是普通话，然后英语，好吗？好。啊，准备，1、2、3，反对，反对，反对！反对，反对，反对 ！No drugs, no drugs, no drugs!
Yeah, drug never safe.
Drugs never safe.
Drug never safe.
Drugs are never safe.
Drug taking is never safe.
So I'm wondering if people are also thinking there might be more tent cities set up in areas like Richmond if there's going to be a consumption area, because the people who are taking the drugs, they want to be close to the consumption site. So then they set up tents if they can't find housing. So I think that's one of the fears. I'm going to ask some people, see what they think.
Ourselves, because this is only our chance.
Yes.
We are parents too. We want better future for our children. That's why we come to Canada. I immigrated to Canada more than 30 years ago. And I already see the downfall of Chinatown. You know, I don't want this to happen to another community again. So, whatever data shows, I only see it through my eyes. Like, who dares to go to Newton and die right now? Like, look at the feces on the ground, the smell of urine. Okay? Like, fear of life. Like, I don't dare to go myself. Like, don't even talk about bringing my kids over. So, if we're gonna have this over to our community again, think what would happen after 10 years or 20 years. Is Richmond gonna be another Chinatown? We want to stop this. So everybody, if you have your story, please stand up now. If we don't speak, we will lose our voice.
But if this time we are not fighting for Asians, we have no chance.
So I've been saying for the last year and a half, if this pattern continues, it's going to be just like what's happened already in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle. So all the West Coast cities, they've already gone through what could be happening here in BC. So they've got to jump about maybe 5-6 years ahead of us. So what's happened in Vancouver right now is going to be happening here in Richmond if they have the consumption site. So what my opinion is that there's going to be more tents because there's no housing. So people will be setting up tents nearby the consumption site, and then little by little it's going to ruin the cities.
You may say these people need help. You may say love is all around. You may say we shall not give up on anyone. I'm totally with you. But this kind of help is no solutions other than deceiving yourself and the public. Richmond is our home. It's a harmonious community. Everyone fight for years. No matter the weather, no matter the rainbow, home is where we find our anchor, where we feel the most warmth. And that's the voice of Richmond residents deserves to be heard. Thank you, Mayor Brody and the city councilors, and thank you, everyone.
No. I thought I told you about that. You're not going to applaud no matter what you think.
And safe injection sites are not safe to the general public as well, particularly to patients in the hospital, the caregivers, as well as Richmond residents who were using the service of the hospital.
I saw it with my own eyes, and you would not believe the mountains of stolen goods I saw in these buildings. Tradesmen's tools, people's personal possessions, even lawnmowers. The negative ripple effect on the community is very real and will reduce the quality of life for all Richmond residents. This drug activity will attract criminals who will fence the stolen goods, as well as drug dealers and gang members to your neighborhoods. I implore the council, do not waste your time and energy and money on this initiative. Spend your time and money to increase law enforcement, prisons, rehab facilities, and mental health asylums, and encourage other levels of government to support you in doing the same. These addicts actively wish to harm themselves, but they should not be allowed to harm the law-abiding citizens of Richmond. The vast majority of addicts engage in serious criminal activities to feed their habit, and society's duty is not to enable them, but rather to assist them in breaking this cycle of addiction.
Oh my God.
Here's a good place for dim sum. Cam Y. It's about half the price of a regular place.
Oh yeah.
It's in, I think they're closed now. Not bad.
I find eating stuff like that, you spend a bunch of money and you're still not full.
Yeah. Nowadays, you go for dim sum or lunch, you're spending $30-40 bucks.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
That used to be cheap food.
Yeah, it used to be, spend $5 a person, $10 a person, tops. I remember we used to go out as a group, different associations, $7 for dinner a head, right?
Yeah.
This one guy, he was charging everybody 15 or 20 because they're going in his own pocket to get free dinner, free lunch, free everything for a few days. Right? I couldn't figure him out until later, right? Because, you figure, you order dinner for 6, 15 people show up or 12 people show up. It just makes it cheap. You still eat pretty good. But then when the bill shows up, it's like, oh, everybody $20 pony up. Here, Chinatown barbecue right here. Chinatown barbecue, they're still open. Remember last time we came here? This time here?
I don't know. It all looks the same to me.
Well, you saw the guy taking a dump.
Oh, this is the shit corner. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There used to be a restaurant in the alley called the Green Door. It was in here. You know, they used to gambling house. And then they go in the back. I never ate there. I walked in there, never ate there. So you got to be careful when you drive through the alley here. There's people lying on the ground, and they're not close to the wall. So I'm just gonna be careful here. So this is in Chinatown. So this street is Pender Street in front of me. So there's a lot of people on the alleys and side streets. So they're off the main street, like the East Hastings Street. So in actual fact, things have not improved. People are scattered everywhere, including other parts of Vancouver. So it looks like there's an improvement. There isn't. But Vancouver started a 3-year experiment to decriminalize drugs. So started last year, I think. So we still got 2 more years to go. So what's happening in San Francisco, they had to call the National Guard in. That was a few months ago. I heard New York, the National Guard also were called because of all the crime and the situation with the homeless people there, plus other problems.